Benvenuti a una nuova puntata di Garfa Wellness. Vi ricordo che se non volete perdere nessuna puntata iscrivetevi al canale e oggi sono molto contento di avere qui con me Bradley. Hi Bradley.
Hi.
Welcome. How are you?
I'm doing well.
How do you feel after these 3 months in Garfagnana?
I feel great. I absolutely love Garfagnana. Yeah.
For our follower, tell us about a bit of yourself. Where are you from and why you are here in Garfagnana?
Yeah. Okay. I am from Los Angeles, California. I currently go to school in Bend, Oregon, at Oregon State University Cascades. Is the name of the university, and I'm a physiotherapy student there in my 3rd year, doing clinical rotations or my internship, and I had the opportunity to study physiotherapy in Italy.
We thanks to Edu Global for
exactly. And Edu Global is the company that OSU has worked in conjunction with to get me here, and it was a new partnership which has worked out really well.
What is your impression of Garfagnana?
Well, at first I didn't know what to expect from Garfagnana, but now it's a beautiful valley that's in between 2 amazing mountain ranges, and there's a lot of incredible people here and beautiful places to visit, and yeah, I've had a lot of fun.
Which place are you visiting these 3 months?
Yeah, I've visited, so I've gone to the Apuano in the mountains on the west side and to the Apennines. I visited Abetone, which is the ski resort. I've gone to the top of Monte Tambura in the Apuano. And I visited some places local like Isola Santa. Yeah. There's plenty of other places, but maybe they're skipping my brain right now.
Which are the different cultures that you find that you surprise respect to the USA?
Mostly, well, that's a good question because I think that there's a lot of community here in Garfagnana. It's really interesting how we're in a rural part of Italy, like separate from a big city center, and yet people still live very close to each other, and there's really good community here. It's a little different in the US, I'd say, not that the community is bad in rural areas, but people live very far apart. So it's interesting. And of course the food is different, and it's been really, really wonderful to see and talk with locals about where the food comes from, and everyone seems to know a little bit of history about the regional differences in food in general. So I'd say that maybe those are 2 big hitters, but there's a lot of different culture in Italy, and especially in Garfagnana.
You stay not only in Garfagnana, but you visit other places in the Tuscany. There is a special place that you remember?
I really liked Lucca. I think Lucca was pretty amazing with the walls of the city being completely intact, and you can walk around the entirety of them. But I do really love being outside in the mountains, and so I think the Apuano specifically has a place in my heart now. It's just, I didn't expect to see mountains that were so stark, like so craggy and really very beautiful.
But you don't come there for travel, for visit other place, but for see a different type of physiotherapy.
Exactly.
And let's talk about your experience in our clinic.
Yeah. Okay.
What were your expressions when you come here?
It was actually very tough to have an expectation when I came to this clinic because I there wasn't a ton of information about what it would be like, and I did read a lot about Italian healthcare, so I was interested to see the healthcare system from like a universal standpoint, coming from the government as opposed to privatized healthcare like in the US. So yeah, I was interested to see if that changed the way that the clinic was run than in the US.
You know, we follow especially orthopedic patients in my clinic, and which are the most important difference with the approach between USA and our approach? There are differences?
Yeah, so I think something that I really like about this clinic, and that is slightly different than what I've seen before, is that there are different physiotherapists that fulfill different roles within the clinic. So I know that everyone is capable and often does do evaluations, but I have seen that you are doing more evaluation as opposed to some of the other therapists like Marco and Elena, who spend more of the time in the gym, which is quite different than in the US. Yeah, I'd say that most physios in the US do the whole thing. They go through the whole kind of care.
In our clinic, we use a approach in 3 phases.
Yeah.
And we in the first phase, we work on pain management.
Yes.
After joint recovery and prevention, and the third phase is performance and changement.
Yes.
How did you experience this approach and with the patients? Do you like this type of approach?
Yes, I really like the approach, and I think it is very helpful, and it's really important to understand as a patient coming in that this is the type of approach. So yeah, like you said, that 3-step approach, one being a patient comes in with pain, that's going to be the first thing that's addressed, right? And I've seen that here in the form of manual therapy with modalities like the Tecker and the laser therapy, and it works very well, yeah. And then calming down the pain, and then moving on to addressing those deficiencies or difficulty with movement, weaknesses, or mobility. So moving on from that first step from pain to mobility, joint management, getting a patient moving and a little bit stronger maybe, and then progressing into strength. It's really what rehabilitation is built on, and I really like being able to see the steps being carried out here.
After a first period where you take to understand better Italian, we find patients that speak English and you follow them. So could you tell us about their journey with the patients? How do you feel with our methods to feel the patients to the start with manual therapy to the end with gym?
I think that it has been very helpful to have patients that speak English. I'm very grateful for that. And it has been obviously very important to bring them through all of those steps. And at this clinic specifically, we have all of the equipment that we need in order to bring them through. So it's been very good. Patients respond really well to the Tecker massages and are very compliant with all of the exercises that we ask them to do. And I've really enjoyed being able to practice my skills of using my hands and then progressing them into some type of loading phase.
You talk about instrumental therapy, but about manual therapy, do you find some new technique or some technique that you don't know before?
Yeah, so we've talked a lot about Mulligan technique, which we touched on in school, especially mobilization with movement, which is part of the Mulligan techniques. And it's been really great to get to practice them. And I've seen a lot of patients actually respond very well to those Mulligan techniques.
You know, I don't stay in the gym a lot of time, but I speak with Elena and Marco, and they tell me that you are very good in the gym and very prepared, and you know a lot of exercise, and and you explain to Marco Enel a new exercise for the patients, and they are very, very happy with this. Usually in USA you work more in the gym than in the single room, like manual therapy or instrumental therapy.
It really depends on the therapist, but the way that I was trained in school, yes,
Okay.
a little bit more in the gym than just using instrumental therapy, because it does seem like that's where some of the evidence for recovery is.
Yes. You speak a lot of load management of the patients.
Yeah, yes, exactly. And I think getting the correct load for patients is maybe one of the key parts of rehabilitation, because I think chronically patients are underloaded, and we do need to introduce them to enough weight for there to be a challenge, and therefore tissue remodeling.
I hope that you understand why we use instrumental manual therapy in the first phase.
Oh, of course.
Because when the patient comes with pain, also if there isn't a lot of scientific right, we for do a better engagement with the patients, and when the pain is less, we put the patients in the gym and start with the rehab, with the load management.
Yeah, and I have, it has been really nice to be here for that reason, actually, because like you said, in school we do learn that a lot of the modalities aren't technically like scientifically backed, but I think it's important to recognize their value and their role in pain management and patient compliance. And of course, every patient is different, and some things work for some patients that don't work for others. So yeah, no, it's been great, and I think they respond very well to the modalities.
And you think that this type of approach you can apply in your practice when you return in USA?
Definitely, yeah. I just think
You
that
must be biotech.
exactly. Well, I really do think that, I mean, especially here with the language barrier, showing a patient that I know what I'm doing and being able to use my hands really is good for patient like compliance and for them to trust me. So I think that it's been a good opportunity for me to build a relationship with them outside of language.
Okay. Okay. If you had to describe these 3 months with 3 words, that's what it be.
3 words. Okay. I would say that these 3 months. Okay, I'll do kindness, mountains, and I'd say the last one is camaraderie. Do you know this word?
No, I don't understand.
It's like when you have a group of people who are your friends or even your family.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you think you will return? This is the first time that you come in Italy?
Yeah, first time. This is only my second time in Europe
Okay.
in general.
Do you think you want to return in Italy and maybe even in Garfagnana?
Oh, definitely. I've made friends here.
Okay.
Yeah, I've gotten to experience so many different things and meet so many people at the clinic, and that I've actually made plans with to do outside of the clinic. And yeah, it's nice. It's very good people, good food. The area is amazing. I love to come back to the clinic. I would. If I come back to Italy, I will come back to Garfagnana.
What do you miss the most once you back home?
What do I miss the most? My friends, for sure. Yeah, I think, and I get to stay in touch with them still, but the time difference is big, and I don't always have internet, and it'll be nice to see them again.
Is there something to want to tell from the next students that come in my studio? Some helpful?
Yeah, some helpful words. I would say that it is always important to be really open-minded.
Okay.
And that's what EDU Global told us before we came, but it's very true. It was difficult in the first week or two to figure out the rhythm, and And I think it's like that with most clinical rotations in general, but yeah, to stay open-minded and find a place where you can take your opportunity, like finding a patient who speaks English or at least is willing to work with you, and then going from there and building their plan of care and home exercise programs and everything like that. And I do think that it is important to be active, like in your own education continually. So yeah, that's something that I've been, and you've helped facilitate with a lot of the information that you've given me, like some self-study before I come into the clinic, so that I have more information to work with the patients. So.
Thank you, Bradley, and I hope that you stay better, you stay well in my studio, and I hope that is a good experience for you.
Yeah, it's been a great experience. I really enjoyed being here. Yeah, I would definitely recommend it to future students.
Bye.